we've got a guest coming in, a good friend of ours, a proud member of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, a man who has fought the fight for the last 4 years in the city of Belleville, and who I've heard, and I want to hear it from him personally, that he will be a candidate for mayor of Belleville. This is a gentleman that spoke out on this judge race. I think this gentleman that I'm talking about, Dallas Cook, he fought the fight against Barra Civic. He fought the fight saying, hey, these guys shouldn't be able to run for election. They should have to run for retention like the Constitution meant. And I think because of that, I think Dallas Cook changed the whole outset of St. Clair County. Mr. Dallas Cook just walked in. Dallas, I'll tell you what, you're one of the few that took the bull by the horns, not only in this judge situation, but in this situation with this Hoff Brew House. And I'll tell you, I want to know first and foremost, are you a candidate for mayor of Belleville?
Yes, definitely, Bob.
Well, let me tell you, you good people in Belleville, you heard it first here on the air. Dallas Cook has fought for you people the last 4 years, and he'll continue the fight. I don't think there's any other choice, personally, than Dallas Cook for mayor of Belleville. This man's fought the system. He's fought the county. He's fought the city. He's fought all this political corruption. And now he's getting screwed with again. But see, Dallas walked in with his head up high. He knows he's right. And Dallas, what the hell? All you've tried to do is inform and be transparent to the people of Belleville about this Hoff Brew House. In my opinion, not Dallas Cook's, in my opinion, is going to be the biggest failure, the biggest debacle in Belleville history.
Well, here's the deal, Bob. Let me first say that I definitely hope that this development succeeds. Anything that's going on in the city of Belleville, it needs to succeed. You can tell we're at a bit of a precipice right now where the city can only go one of two directions. We either continue to go downhill or we save this city. And this is my city. This is where I grew up. I've lived here my whole life. I only want great things for the city. I'm just disgusted by the type of behavior that's going on. So let's go back to the Hofbräu House. Okay, first of all, when this was brought up about 3 years ago and when the city gave them $40 million of incentives and agreed to build out $3 million worth of sewers, I wanted them to slow down. I asked them, okay, do you have the financials? Do you have anything at all on the folks who want to develop this? Do you have any proof that they can do what they're going to say they're going to do before we make promises and do those things with taxpayer money? Well, they said, no, how could we ask for that? That's so rude to ask for their financials. Don't do that to them. That's mean. And I'm thinking, this is crazy. So you just saw last week, the city of St. Louis, the aldermen, they reviewed the financials of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Right.
And they made an agreement about Ballpark Village where they're giving them, I think it's $12 million incentives. Well, with this project, there's $40 million worth of incentives. Well, the city of St. Louis had no problem asking for those financials. They received them. And it's not because they're negative towards the Cardinals. Hey, we love the Cardinals. The city of St. Louis loves the Cardinals. Unbelievable franchise. But they have a fiduciary duty. Their job is to represent the taxpayers first. And that's the way it always is supposed to be. However, in the city of Belleville, it didn't happen. Mayor Mark Eckert was desperate for his reelection, desperate to take anything that anybody would give him, and he was willing to give them the world without any care for whether or not they could perform. And clearly now, 3 years later, I'd have to say I was right.
Yeah. No, after you were totally right. Dallas, I drive by every day going down to East St. Louis, and they've got one or two people working on the facade, the outside, because they want people to think something's being done. This was supposed to be done this summer. It's never going to get done before. I bet you it's not done before the summer of next year.
It definitely won't be, but I want it done. So that's why as soon as I become mayor, I will meet with these folks and I will find out what is going on. And I won't just keep it to myself or lie about it. I will tell the people the truth because that is what they deserve. They deserve the truth. Now, you can do this project and you can do it without government money, and government has nothing to do with it. And we shouldn't ask any questions then. That's your private business. But hey, you came to the taxpayers of the city of Belleville wanting $50 million of our dollars. $50 million. And I don't care if you tell me that's sales tax that they're going to generate. No, every other business in Belleville pays sales tax. They're not getting their money back. How do they feel?
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Dallas, I said this from day one. Any mayor with any ability, business ability, not a pansy pushing pansies at his flower shop like a Maximus Vaginas Eckert, before I would have committed the hardworking taxpayers' money of Belleville to any project, I would have wanted all kind of business plans, development plans, financial plans, knowing how can he say, Dallas, and I know you can't talk for him, this idiot thinks we're all stupid. If there would have been one major hotel that would have wanted to come to this area, they would have announced it a year ago. He keeps pussyfooting around. It's, well, we can't tell you. Well, if you can't tell us, what the hell's the problem? They can't tell us this, they can't tell us that, because they have no answers to tell us, Dallas.
Right. They still haven't even announced the hotel. They had another press conference, the day before this last election here in November, where they said, okay, well, we have the hotel. Here's a design of it. But we can't tell you the name, even though it said Hyatt Place on there. So now what I would like to know is, I'd like to see a document that says, okay, they have a Hyatt Place, because we haven't received anything. I think it's a whole lot of baloney, a whole lot of, pushing stuff down the road so that, hey, now we're going to begin building that hotel sometime after April, and of course, the city elections in April.
Well, we have to get we have to get Eckert reelected before all this stuff will be go to good. And Eckert, you rotten, no-count, good-for-nothing, lousy, lying son of a bitch. You've lied to the people about Belleville, about this Hoff Brew House. You're sending all the businesses out to the outer corridor. And then the biggest thing to me, Dallas, and I hope if you're elected mayor, you will stand up and say, people of Belleville, I respect you, but let me tell you, Belleville's not the safest place. We all have to band together, because I tell you, whenever Eckert says this town's safe, somebody dies, somebody gets hurt bad, the blood of them is on his hands. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right, and that, I think, is the number one concern of this campaign. Crime in this area has not been going so well. We've seen a couple little things in the newspaper, but a lot of it we don't hear about.
Right.
And nobody wants to have a negative light over the community, but hey, we want to be safe. I got a bunch of little kids, and the worst thing in the world would be to feel like you're not safe in your own home, or to be able to shop in Belleville and not be safe. Hey, you want businesses to come into Belleville? You don't have to pay them to come here. You need safe streets. That means you need to work on your infrastructure. You need to work on crime. And I will tell you what, not to tip off too much, because on next Saturday at 10 a.m. in downtown Belleville, I am going to announce my 100-day plan and announce officially that I'm running for mayor. But to give you a little bit of a head start on that, I can tell you one thing's for sure. We're going to have a change in the Belleville Police Administration. Day one, I'm going to hire a new police chief for the city of Belleville, and he's going to be visible in this community, and he's going to tell these criminals, you just take yourself out here, and if you don't, we're going to hammer the law against you as heavy as that hammer can come, because crime is the number one issue, and I'm not going to stand for it, and my chief won't stand for it, and he's going to end it whatever it takes, because we have unbelievable police officers at the city of Belleville, but their hands are tied by politics and, from what I understand, lack of care.
Yeah.
They sit there at the new police department. The mayor sits at the top floor of it. And, you can't even get in there. The public can't even get in there. I just don't know what's going on with that police administration. I do know, though, I'm going to change it. Day one.
Dallas, let me tell you, here's the situation with Eckert. And everybody can see, he doesn't give transparency, but he is transparent, because they can see right through this son of a bitch. Now that the bread company is moving to the outer corridor, there's a lot of people that are interested in that building. He's full of crap. I mean, he just keeps kicking the can down the road. He keeps okey-fadoking people. Dallas, we've got a caller. Let's go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Yeah, I just want to say, as a resident of Belleville and been in this area all my life, I want to thank Dallas for stepping out there and becoming mayor. Or running for mayor. It's about time we get somebody who cares about the people and not spends their taxpayer money like it's their own personal piggy bank. Thank you, Dallas. I'll support you any way I can, and good luck to you. And it'll be good to have a representative of the people and not a representative of the hierarchy of St. Clair County.
Well, sir, thank you very much, and I'm sure Dallas thanks you. Dallas, I've talked with a lot of people, and I'd heard that you were going to run for mayor, and I mean this sincerely. People are ready. They're ready for a change. And I think once you kick off your campaign, you're going to find that you're going to have people that you didn't even think were behind you, because things have to change. These people have these houses in Belleville. They don't want to give them away like they did in East St. Louis. So this is the last straw, people. Dallas Cook is the last straw. If this pussy boy Maximus Vaginas Mark Eckert, the ill-illustrious mayor of Belleville, takes one more term, you can just give your houses away, because Belleville's not going to be worth a penny.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, caller, and that's the kind of stuff that keeps me going. But I will tell you, from knocking doors over this weekend to get some signatures to get on the ballot, I learned I've got a lot of support out there. I was out in Ogles for about 4 hours on Saturday, and it's unbelievable how much the people are ready for a change. All their property values keep going down, but their taxes keep going up.
Yeah.
And Mark Eckert doesn't care about that. He blamed the tax increase on veterans when he raised it $60 per $100,000 on the home. Now, it had nothing to do with veterans exemption. It had everything to do with the ridiculous spending, the out-of-control TIFs, and the mismanagement of our city.
Dallas, before we take a break here, this law firm of Michael T. George, PC, you had to be offended when you got, after all you did as an elected official was trying to get information, and if it's negative, it's negative. You can't help it. You didn't ask people to lie. You just wanted to know the good and the bad about this Keller Group, as everybody else does. We don't know anything about this Keller Group, but how did you take this letter when you got this piece of crap that they sent to you? And I'm pissed because they didn't send me a copy, because I've been ragging them. I've been ragging them a lot. You haven't actually been ragging them. You've been just trying to find out information. I've actually been ragging these no-count bastards. What did you think when you got this piece of crap, this intimidation letter?
Oh, I rolled on the floor laughing. I was offended, but not offended personally. I was offended for the people of the city of Belleville.
I agree.
How dare you send an elected official who represents the taxpayers here in the city of Belleville a letter telling him to be quiet when you took all our taxpayer dollars and you have no problem reaming the taxpayers, but how dare I ask a question? And can I explain to you why I received that letter?
Yeah, go
Can
ahead.
I tell you what I did? Well, I haven't had anything negative to say about it. Like I said, I hope it succeeds no matter what. But I made a phone call to the city of Chester, Illinois, because they had a similar situation with the Kellers. And so I was looking at what kind of incentives they got. Well, the city told me that they didn't give them any incentives. They actually, that development had to pay for their own sewer lines, had to pay for their own gas lines, everything out of their own pocket, which as it should be. But they did tell me that there was a gentleman who was working with Mr. Keller on the project, who was the front man for the project, and that he could tell me a lot more about it. So they gave me his phone number. So I called him. I mean, I'm doing the type of homework that should be done by our mayor and alderman anyway.
Right.
I just had to step up to the plate. And so I did. And so I called this gentleman, and I simply asked him some questions, not negative questions at all. I'm just looking for facts, nothing negative. Well, he happened to tell me a whole heck of a lot. And so I sat there and I listened, and he spoke highly of Mr. Keller as a man, that he liked him. He didn't know him that well, but he thought he was a very nice man. And so but then he went on to talk a little bit about the financial situation and about loans in the current market and things that are going on. And so then I realized here in the city of Belleville, we should be gravely concerned with the current situation. And so that's all that I did. And I guess it got under their skin that I talked to somebody who probably the mayor hasn't even talked to, and I learned more than him. And so, that's all that happened. I didn't do anything.
If you check my background, and I know I've got an excellent background, I want you to check it, and I want you to bring it out. But if I'm a little shady, I am a little shady, not a lot of shady like these politicians. I don't want you to inquire about anything. And so I think that's telltaling that they don't want you or me or anybody else to ask any questions, because the answers we're going to get may not be very pretty.
And that's all that happened. That's it. I upset them by daring to ask the questions that need to be asked. But hey, like I said in the article, you want to come at me, well, bring it on, because I know I'm on the people's side, and that's what matters.
Dallas, we're going to take a quick break. You got the last word. What do you got to tell the good people of Belleville about your upcoming election?
Hey, I'm running for mayor, and I'm doing it for you. I don't care. I've got the guts. They can do whatever they want to me. I can take it. I'm here to fight for you. And Saturday at 10 a.m., I'm going to be in downtown Belleville announcing my plans for the first 100 days. It's time for a change here in Belleville, and it's going to be my greatest honor to bring it to you.